Hey, welcome everyone to another consumer tech advice video. In this video, talking about Google changing its stance on how you can sideload apps into an Android device. If you want to see the written version of this video, you can find a link to my website in the video description. So this is a continuation of a different video that I made a little while ago. I'll put it here. I'll put a link to it in the video description, where a few months ago, Google had, kind of put out the stance that in order to sideload apps, developers have to verify themselves. They have to use identification and put it up on Google services. This basically made that for people who were like hobbyists, students, or just developers who want to make free open source software and they didn't want to put in the Google Play Store, had to put their ID up. And of course, that means your data is going to get sold to Google because that's what they do, sell your data. Now, that met a lot of backlash, including from people from myself, because Android was like the freedom operating system on mobile devices. And the term sideload is a horrible thing to say. You wouldn't say on a Windows computer, I'm going to sideload OBS. That's what I'm using to record this video. I'm going to sideload VLC. You just say, I'm going to install VLC. But because of the App Store and iPhones, people have made this term sideloading a common theme across all mobile devices, including Android. But when I want to install an app from somewhere else that's not the Google Play Store, it's not sideloading. It's just installing. It's just I didn't install it from the Google Play Store. So sideloading is not a term we should be using for Android devices. Okay, I'm just installing an app. The term sideloading appears quite often throughout this video because that's what Google themselves are calling it. They're calling it sideloading. It's a very manipulative way of saying, hey, we're talking about sideloading because you're sideloading apps. You're not getting it from the Google Play Store, which is the official way. That's not the official way. If you don't have Google Play services like I don't on a Graphene OS privacy-based operating system, which I've made a couple videos about how to install it and what it does. I'll put links to both those videos in the video description. It's not sideloading, I'm just installing the app. Anyway, so I'm kind of deviating, but I did discuss that. So what's basically happening? So this was actually huge news. It was actually covered by major tech news outlets like PC Mag, Engadget, Verge, so on and so forth. Basically, it said Google to impose 24-hour safety window to activate Android app sideloading. Again, not sideloading. It's just apps not installed from the Google Play Store, but that's what everyone's saying, including Google themselves. Basically, they kind of took a step back about like locking down the Android ecosystem and not being able to install apps that are not from the Google Play Store. The backlash was tremendous, including from people like myself. So what are they saying now? They've actually made some changes in how you get this done. So right now, what is the method? In order for me to install apps that are not from the Google Play Store, traditionally, it depends on your baked version of Android as well, because Samsung has their own version of Android, Motorola, so on and so forth. But the core concept is you basically have to go to System Settings and turn on a function to allow installing apps not from the Google Play Store. Done. You check one box and done. You can start installing stuff. No problem. What are they changing here? They basically sideloading is here to stay. This is from Android developers, the official Android team from Google. Again, we're not sideloading, but that's what they keep calling it, to manipulate you. They basically published a video showing the advanced flows in order to get sideloading, quote unquote, unverified apps. The first requires enabling developer mode in system settings to permit the sideloading from unverified sources. Okay. Users will then see a window that says, is someone asking you to do this? Warns about potential scams. Basically, a window will pop up saying, are you being coached to install these unknown apps? Like, is someone telling you on the phone or something like that? Are you sure you're not being scammed? Okay, not too bad. All right, we get that. A user then clicks through a warning saying, no one is instructing me. Therefore, you're then allowed to continue with the installation. The second step will require the Android phone to be restarted in an effort to cut off possibly that the hacker is calling the user to coerce them into installing malware. However, crossing the fourth step involves waiting a 24-hour security delay before any Android apps from unverified developers can be installed. So basically, a lot of the time, hackers and criminals, when they're trying to scam you into installing malicious software, stealing your information, there's always a sense of urgency. Like, hey, if you don't do it right now, the government's going to triple your taxes, or the police will be coming soon, and this and this and that. And this is kind of ridiculous to me. Now, a lot of people actually think this is a good thing. They're actually like, hey, this isn't so bad, it's okay. Because, this popped up on The Verge as well, and I was like, okay, I'm curious to see what people have to say here. Because usually The Verge comments, not all the time, but many of the time the top-rated comments are very intellectual, that people actually understand technology, understand some of the stuff. Now, a lot of people are in the same stance as me. The number one featured comment was like, remember when you didn't need special permission to install software on your own computer? Those were the days. I think this person is referring to cell phones as a computer because they're just so advanced. And I agree with them. But then there's other highly rated comments saying, I don't like it. but I get it. Another one, this seems reasonable. And then, you have to go through all these steps, and then they kind of contradict themselves in their own comment. But again, they're saying this seems reasonable. Here's another one. Positive friction. This seems like a perfectly reasonable trade-off, and I dare say even a good solution for this problem. And there's a lot of debates. There's some comments basically like myself saying this is absolutely unacceptable, and there's other people like that saying, yeah, this is pretty good, not so bad. Okay, so we've gone through some back and forth. And there's one comment that really stood out to me. It's very interesting because I don't use banking apps. I use the mobile website. The less apps you have installed, the less you can be tracked. Banking apps do that too. They track a lot of data. You actually see the permissions they have. It's ridiculous. Some banking apps don't even open when you enable developer settings these days. This only get worse for us enthusiasts. Now, some folks might think, well, this is not a big deal. What's the big deal? Why am I making a video about this? It's pretty simple, actually, if you just, take a moment to just think outside the box. I'm using Graphene OS, which is a privacy-based operating system like I mentioned earlier. Again, link to that video is in the video description explaining the good and bad of it. It's not perfect. It's got some caveats to it. But traditional Android devices sold directly from Google, Samsung, you kind of get the idea, have Google Play services and Google services baked in right out of the box, like Gmail, YouTube, Google Keep, Google Maps, and so on and so forth. The thing is, what I don't like about this, it's very contradicting of what they're trying to accomplish, because it's all about preventing scams and malicious software from being installed on your cell phone. Except the biggest theft that occurs on Android is Google selling your data without your consent. When you have an Android device, you're pretty much syncing your contacts through your Google account, and it syncs up with Gmail. So now Google has a list of all your family phone numbers and their names. So if you name someone mom, they know who your mom is and their phone number. And then they'll tie the relationships. So if your mom also has an Android device, they'll say, okay, Joe Schmo, and they'll realize there's the phone number. They'll put those two phone numbers together and match that's the relationship. Yep, there's the mom and there's the son, potentially. So that's one thing. Everything in Gmail is being scanned, and that data is being sold. Your location is constantly being sold, especially when you use Google Maps. Even if you don't use Google Maps, you deactivate it, you turn off GPS, they'll still track you by your IP address, your mobile data signal, and all that other stuff. They'll try to triangulate it and find out where you are. You cannot turn off location tracking in Android. So when you get an Android device, why does it not have it so that you can pop in your SIM card, use it for cell phone signal in case of an emergency, mobile data, and you get Google Maps, but you cannot load your Google account. It's just bare bones Google Maps because maybe you need to navigate for an emergency. But you cannot use anything else for 24 hours because it shall give you a simple prompt listing all the data Google's collecting and selling of you. Everything. Because you typically have your phone with you 24/7, most likely, right? Why doesn't Google do that? Instead, what they do is they have these terms and conditions that no one reads. I even know some lawyers, and I've asked them, do you ever read your iPhone or Google terms and conditions? I don't have time for that garbage. But why doesn't Google follow their own practice? If Google is the one selling your data without your consent, in plain, simple language, they're stealing your data and selling it. Why are they not giving a prompt for that, saying, hey, here's all the stuff we're going to collect, typically without your consent. We're warning you now in simple, plain language. It's easy to read. Turn off the phone, and you can't use anything else for 24 hours because it gives you time to think about maybe returning this phone or getting a privacy-based operating system like Graphene OS. Do you see the irony in this? So when people say, yeah, this is fine, this is acceptable. No, it's not. Google is the biggest thief out of all the services related to Android. This is a wrong step, okay? And when you give an inch, you give a mile. Is that the saying? Or is it give it a foot? You know what I'm saying. Basically, you've given Google an inch by saying, yeah, this is the way we're going to do it. They're going to go back and change something else eventually, slowly and slowly. They'll make it harder and harder. Just watch. That's how Google, over many, many years, went from the company known as doing no evil to being one of the most evil. It happened so slowly and gradually, people just accepted it. In fact, here's the other problem is that in the original video, when I talked about this subject when it first came out a few months ago, I talked about that the numbers that Google gave about how many malicious software was installed, not from the Google Play Store, the numbers contradicted themselves. Everything from Google and Android directly. They overinflated the numbers dramatically by an absolute insane amount. Okay. But what they don't do is explain how many times malicious apps have been found on the Google Play Store and installed successfully. It happens very often. I'm not going to even talk about it and make this video too long. Just look it up yourself. You'll find countless tech news articles explaining Google Play Store being full of malicious software and people downloading it in the hundreds of thousands per an app. Think about that for a second. That's the end of this video, so just some food for thought. The next time you think Google and Android official developers are your friends, they're not. They're doing something just to make things more annoying for you, so you go to the Google Play Store where they can track and sell all your data. Anyway, that's pretty much a wrap for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, be sure to check out my website, link in the video description as I mentioned earlier. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, it literally helps my channel grow. And maybe consider hitting the super thanks button, which is a little heart icon below this video, because I have to make these videos after hours when I'm not working. And that's pretty much a wrap.